because I've been told a lot of children's stories before, and this one had my jaw dropping because I had never heard of it, and it really is an incredible story. So, Chad, come on up and tell us. Thanks for already being up here. Tell us this children's story.
RJ already all seen Grayson because he's a boy in the striped shirt. Great for you. And just the back. IT is here. I don't normally give a speech to glasses of wine. So, we'll see where the goes. Is this okay? It sounds weird to me. It's okay. I'm really excited to be here tonight to share my family story with you. And of the 81,000 children that were treated in 2011, did I go? Yeah, okay. And the 8,579 surgeries, I didn't walk over here. I'm gonna the room, because that's crazy. It's an event, you have to try it. So, 8,579 surgeries, 81,000 children that were helped in 2011, and I'm going to show the story of one of those children. Trapped. Okay.
No.
Oh, did I not? So there's Grayson. Go. Okay. So Grayson is our son, and as you can tell, he is absolutely outstanding. To describe too, he also happens to be the cover story for the BC Children's Hospital magazine for last summer, sorry. Some of you may have seen it. And to see my family, you would never know that there's a medical issue. Certainly not one that would merit being cover story on a magazine for BC Children's, and yet if you scratch the surface just a little, you'll see that we certainly had a difficult time in our entire lives. It didn't start out that way. We had a great day one. But by day 2, we were being medevac out of Dawson Creek, where we were adopting him, and by day 4, he had open heart surgery. A surgery to fix a rare heart condition that 20 years ago had a 0% survival rate, and now, thanks to modern medicine and an amazing cardiac team here in the hospital, it's over 90% survival rate. So, this day 4 for us is actually 2 years ago today. And so, he was wheeled out at about 2 o'clock. And this is a very good story, so if I cry, and we were bedside with him for a couple hours, and at about 8:30 at night, they asked to speak with us in the board. And I think we all know that we've spoken to the boardroom is not a good thing. And that's when they told us something that we had never heard before. Our son has, in addition, and unrelated to rare heart defect, he has maple syrup urine disease, MSUD, which you're thinking, what the hell is maple syrup urine disease? Because that's what I thought. There's no reference point to hearing something like this. And its name comes because his urine and earwax sometimes smell like maple syrup. But what it means is a very, very difficult disease. There's actually only 3 other kids in BC. There hasn't been a case in over 10 years. And it deals with protein. So we just spent the last hour consuming protein, and our bodies will use that protein to build muscle, repair bone, grow our hair, do about 10,000 other things. And then there's all this overage of protein flowing through our bodies. We ate too much. And that protein is actually fatal to all of us, very quickly. And we have enzymes that notice that there's an overage, and they turn on, and they go find that extra protein, and they break it down safely for us. Maple syrup urine disease it means that you're missing one of the enzyme types that are involved in breaking it down. And so for him, the protein, specifically in the building, building upon itself. And what that means is by day 4, he would, by day 4, he would have brain swelling, possible brain damage. Keep in mind, we only found this out on day 4. And by day 10, he would likely be in a coma, and at some point after that, he would survive. 20 years ago, again, this is not something that you would survive. Every child in BC is actually screened for McGill urine disease, along with 22 other diseases. You might be familiar with the heel poke that they take on all newborn babies. That actually gets sent to the second floor of your lab, and they process 300 to 400 blood samples per day. And ours came back as positive for MSUD. So in order to kind of explain that protein is something that you eat, so we can't give Grayson any food that will expose him to more protein than his body would need for the day. We literally have to give him the perfect amount of protein that his body would consume for that day. But if you give him too little, it's equally as dangerous, because when, just like how you lose weight, you deny yourself calories so your body eats the fat. You give yourself too little protein, and your body eats the muscle. And what were these uncontrolled amounts of protein out of the muscle into the body to make up? So if we give him too little protein, it's the same outcome, too much protein in the system, because it will pull from muscle. So to quickly cover off what doesn't have protein, because I naively thought I knew what had protein, like steak and peas that have protein. There's actually probably about 10 things on the planet that don't have protein. Water, lard, and pure sugar items. What does have protein? Every single other food on the planet, including lettuce, watermelon, pickles, mustard, bread. If he eats Play-Doh, Play-Doh's made with wheat. Wheat has protein. So to give context, I'll get over the geeky part in a moment. 6 on steak, 600 grams of protein a day. Today, Grayson eats 6.43 grams of protein. Now, I don't know if I'm naive or whether this just never occurred to me, but protein can have a decimal place. And on the nutritions on anything you see, it's a whole number. So we actually calculate protein to a decimal place. And how do we even know this magical number? It's because of BC Children's Hospital. So, 62 times Grayson came to the blood lab here on the second floor and had his blood analyzed. The fast way is they take a vial of blood from his arm, and a team of lab technicians on a $250,000 machine spend 7 hours to figure out what his levels are. The slow but less intrusive way is they take that same drop of blood, and a different team of lab technicians using a different $250,000 machine spend 2 days figuring out his levels. Those results are then rolled out to our new family. This is amazing dietitian and doctor. And they look at the results and decide if we need to increase or decrease from that 6.43. Do we go up or do we go down? And then they give us a recipe plan to account for 50% of his intake. So 50% of his protein exposure will come from a scientifically controlled formula that we create every day using the $10,000 worth of free medical supplies that we get from BC Children's. We're here. And the other 50% comes from low protein foods that we will use a spreadsheet that we created. Thank you, Google Docs. And there's not a single thing that will go into his mouth that doesn't go on a scale first. We first calculate the protein exposure for our half of what we're responsible for. To give context, in the yellow there, the first 10, that would be, this is a meal plan. He would have 10 grams of peas, which is about 20 medium-sized peas. He would have 44 grams of bananas, which is about this much banana, et cetera, spread evenly throughout the 24 hours, and then that would be his meal plan. And we would hope that it's the right amount. Now, if he's sick or he's teething, then the body needs more protein because it needs to overcome that. But maybe we don't know that. We haven't clued into the fact that he's getting a cold, so now his blood is going toxic and we don't know it. So that's why we have to come back all the time. So we have Groundhog Day, and 1 to 2 times a week we show up again and he gives blood. So I've learned a lot about protein, about maple syrup urine disease. I'm not schooled in this. I work for the government. This is all new information. This is not natural information for anybody, I think. So we learned a lot of very specific things, but I think it's important to share with you some big picture things that maybe apply to you, and I'm going to squeak it in a couple more minutes than I think it was allocated. One thing I learned is that I really had a perception that I thought I knew what a sick kid looked like, because I guess through media or campaigning, I thought you were bald, you were in a wheelchair, or you were in a hospital gown with an IV strapped to your arm, and that is the definition of a child with medical needs. And since I never saw those children in my real life, because I don't attend the third floor often, I thought the community of need was this big, or rather, I guess, this small. But we come and go from this hospital 1 to 2 times a week. And we see the children on the first and second floors. And those are the appointment kids. And those kids look amazing. I'd say 80–90% of them, I have no idea why they're even in this hospital, because they look good. And that's kind of the eureka of it all, is the community of need is this big, not this small. And the reason they look good is because of the support and the services and the research that goes into making them healthy. To deny them that, they would quickly look like the children. That was my mental model of what a sick child looked like. So you guys are campaigning to make sure that these children, those children that maybe you don't realize that you're engaging day to day at the grocery store, on the soccer field, in the mall, maybe for you always, like for me, it's been helping that invisible child that you'll never meet. You have met these children. You just didn't know you met them, and that's the beauty. The other thing I learned is that children are more resilient than we gave them credit for. Can you get the light cut out? Okay. So, the day after Grayson had open heart surgery, I figured he was juiced up on a cocktail of pain meds because no child should be so good after having such a crazy surgery. And I asked as kind of a concerned parent, and they said, oh, no, he's just on Tylenol as needed. No, wait, apparently I'm a lightweight, because this just sounds extreme, that a child, after having open heart surgery the following day, is on Tylenol as needed. 2 days later, Dr. Danny came by and said, oh, hey, those 2 little metal cables that are coming out of his abdomen, which I hadn't really noticed because they're huge tubes coming out of his abdomen. So those are actually attached directly to his heart. Just in case it failed, we could attach him to an external pacemaker. He's doing really well. I'm just going to come by in about 2 minutes and pull him out. So I laughed. Like a supportive parent. Returned in 4 minutes. And Grayson was fussy. Like, you just had wires detached from your heart, pulled through your cavity and out your body, and you're fussy. So children are more resilient than I ever gave them credit for, and I think it's our responsibility to give them the opportunity to be resilient. So those are what I learned, and I just wanted to close off with more awesome photos of Grayson. And finally, just to say, big one, thank you, because in speaking to you, a lot of you aren't even touched by BC children like we're touched. And that blows my mind that you guys would. Help out an awesome kid and thousands of awesome children. And thank you for listening to Grayson's story.
Ha ha ha.